In the heart of the jungle, a dramatic turn of events left a mother tigress helpless and unable to protect her cub. As the cub struggled in the water, it seemed that all hope was lost, until a surprising figure appeared to intervene. What followed would leave everyone in awe. A muffled, desperate cry pierced the usual calm of the jungle, drawing the attention of Ymir, a dedicated wildlife protector. The sound was unlike any he had heard before, filled with anxiety and despair. Ymir, curious and concerned, paused in his usual patrol and tried to pinpoint the direction of the cry. The noise seemed to be coming from behind an old, twisted banyan tree near a wetland. As the cries grew louder and more desperate, he hurried toward the source, his heart pounding with both fear and determination. When he reached the clearing, Ymir found a young tiger cub struggling in the murky water, trying desperately to stay afloat. The cub's eyes were wide with panic, its small body thrashing as it sank deeper into the water. Ymir hesitated, knowing that tigers, particularly when frightened, can be dangerous, especially in such a vulnerable state. He looked around for the tigress, but found no sign of her. It was then that he noticed something glinting in the dim light, a metal chain wrapped around a tree, trapping the mother tigress. Her eyes were filled with panic as she struggled to break free, unable to reach her cub. Ymir's heart sank at the sight of the mother trapped and in pain. He knew he had to act fast to save the cub. Without wasting a moment, Ymir rolled up his sleeves, removed his shoes, and waded into the cold, muddy water. The water was deeper than he expected, soaking his clothes and sending chills down his spine. Yet, he focused only on the cub, whose frantic thrashing was slowly subsiding as it sensed his presence. As Ymir cautiously approached, he spoke to the cub in a soothing voice, trying to calm it down. "It's okay, baby," he whispered. The cub slowly stopped its frantic movements, allowing Ymir to gently scoop it from the water. The small cub was surprisingly light, its body trembling from the cold. Ymir held it close to his chest, keeping it warm and calm. But he couldn't forget the mother. He carefully assessed her situation, realizing he had to free her from the poacher's chain before it was too late. Just as Ymir began to formulate a plan to free the tigress, he heard the crunching of dry leaves and the low murmur of voices. His heart sank. Poachers were returning to check the trap they had set. He quickly hid the cub in a thicket, hoping it would remain safe, and took a position where he could observe the poachers without being seen. As the two men approached, Ymir watched them from his hiding place, noting their shabby appearance and the weapons they carried. The poachers stopped by the chained tigress, discussing the value of her fur. Anger surged in Ymir's chest at their careless cruelty. He knew he couldn't confront them directly. It would endanger both him and the tigers. Instead, he waited for an opportunity to act without drawing attention. His moment came when he noticed one of the poachers fiddling with a set of keys, likely to check the lock on the tigress's chain. Ymir, seizing the chance, threw a small pebble into the bushes, drawing the poacher's attention. As they turned to investigate the noise, Ymir silently crept to their equipment, grabbing a heavy wrench that might help him unlock the chain. But just as he was about to return to the tigress, the poachers were already coming back, empty-handed. Realizing time was running out, Ymir decided to take a bold step. Emerging from his hiding spot, wrench in hand, Ymir stood between the poachers and the tigress, his voice steady and firm. "Leave this place and never come back," he declared. The poachers sneered, undeterred by his words. One of them mocked Ymir, tightening his grip on his rifle and threatening the man. Ymir remained unfazed, knowing that a direct confrontation would lead to disaster. Instead, he used the threat of rangers patrolling the area to his advantage, bluffing that authorities would soon be on their way. After a tense standoff, the poachers finally backed down, retreating into the jungle. Ymir, his heart still racing, carefully freed the tigress from her chains. Her body relaxed as she felt the freedom she had been denied. Without a moment's hesitation, she moved toward her cub, who had been hiding in the thicket. The cub emerged at the sound of its mother's voice, and the two shared a heartwarming reunion. Watching them disappear into the safety of the jungle, Ymir felt a deep sense of relief and accomplishment. Ymir's life would never be the same after that day. The encounter with the tigress reaffirmed his commitment to conservation, showing him the deep connection between humans and wildlife. Every time he thought back to the encounter, he smiled, knowing that sometimes doing the right thing brings unexpected rewards. It was a story that would stay with him forever, a fairy tale where the line between man and beast blurred, and the hero was the one who protected what mattered most.